6 is likely to find it difficult to understand immediately.
I just don't understand.
Why do you have to do it? It's exactly like the uniform of the Tae-sun soldiers.
Truong
Yip shown mysterious mysteries.
You're
not just not answering the question of possibility,
but also
calmly replied. It's very important, then you'll understand. It is now on the outskirts of the town. There's a lot of people from the Tae-sun base driving a sleigh too. I saw my boss shout the captain's name. My company captain is here. Seen from the spring. There are more and more people at the base. I came here in worry. Company captain with her salary and some others officially came to town from RA. By order of Lord Chen. The captain walked over and said aloud, "It's hard for you guys." The captain shook his head. "No, this time we lost 7 pathetically." The captain comforted his teammates. "That person is not easy to deal with. We've been wrong about him before. I don't know his true power. So you don't have to blame yourself too much." Company captain's name in the machine, teeth-grinding gills clearly show the determination. "But he killed my brothers. I won't let him have a good ending. This time we're here to take his life. Revenge for the fallen brothers. The captain has more troops this time. I also feel confident." He gripped his hand. Of course that's his response. Suddenly the eyes of the VA company captain came in from Spring. He stared at his subordinates and asked who he was. "I hear about myself." Spring only scratches his head. "I don't know how to say cool." She saw the Spring and realized. He is a stranger. Appeared with Truong Yi at the Academy
To
of
welcome
Heaven.
Yang Han
I knew
Han.
that last time, but the salary kept quiet. Because in your heart. Now the Tae-sun base is not good either. The salary thought. It has nothing to do with me. Now I'm not on the side of the Tae-sun base either. The company captain came to the Spring and asked, "What is your ability to control the ice?" Spring raised her hand to the houses in the town. From Jiabo. "You see, these houses are all built by me." The company captain happily patted the Spring Thunder encouragement. "Not bad, I'll recommend you later. Then you can take the chance. That join our Tae-sun base." I said, the company captain informed everyone, according to the previous arrangement. Anti-mine team and explosive disposal unit. They all have to be deployed in quietly. Conditions that obscure the enemy's view. Now we're off. Enlist within 3 hours. It's even an hour at the end of the battle. The man looks at the camera, then drop the book in your hand. With Spring's intelligence, then the plague was also prepared. Ready to fight the Tae-sun? They're here. Before you go, ask the girls. Everybody stay in there. Don't go up. I see them deliberately obscuring their vision. Zhang Yi muttered, "You're afraid I'm a sniper. This is also a good way." So next, they're definitely going to blow up the shelter. Follow the commander's plan. The soldiers of Tae-sun deployed very quickly. They're placing TNT explosives around Zhang's hideout. After a long time, the captain's name. "Give orders through the radio. Blast it all up for me, ha ha ha." The soldiers in the back also kept a close watch. Consecutive sounds are loud explosions, the sea of fire, the smog smothered Zhang's shelter. The captain and the soldiers watched the situation and waiting for the results. From inside the shelter, young men swinging through little narrow vision. I looked out and muttered, "They deserve to sit without pay." The captain continued to raise his hand. "They explode first. Others are ready to help." A squad with TNT in their back, close to Zhang Yi's shelter. They quickly set off explosives around the shelter, a large amount. About 36 barrels of explosives. It's located next to the young man. He was hiding after a long period of observation. There was no sound of the young man poking his head out. "You're gone, why don't you do anything else?" The young man held a thought. Maybe from the beginning I thought it was too complicated. After placing a large amount of explosives, the explosion team reported to the captain that the explosives had been arranged. "We're done withdrawing. It can detonate at any time. I find it too easy to deploy." The captain's name was very favorable. "This mission is simpler than we imagined. I thought this guy Zhang Yi, he could have killed so many of our brothers. There's got to be some talent." The captain's name without a doubt. "What is that?" He pressed the trigger button on the remote control. After a long time pressed the button, but there's no movement. He thought the remote control was broken. "Let someone check the remote." At the same time, there's a guy who uses remote viewing binoculars. In utter surprise. "It's not over, Captain." The explosion on the Kia side just exploded. But something seems to be draining us. Destruction and fire. In the blink of an eye, it's all gone. Only cause minor damage to the outer wall. The captain's angry fist screamed. Being swallowed up. Maybe Zhang's ability. It can be swallowed. The devastating power of TNT. So fast. At this point the captain was nervous. Young people translate. He thought silently. Of course, he is not a normal person. The soldier next to me said, "If that's true, let's say we're hard to attack. To destroy this shelter SAO. The captain's chin on his head. Then it's not that far. It's not bad. Just do it a few more times. It's going to blow up an entrance completely. The captain calmed down and analyzed. And you don't have to be too afraid. He has a very strong defense, but hide in it and don't come out. You can only use a sniper rifle as an assault weapon. That proves he's only good at defense. It's like a turtle snagging its neck. Hide forever in the future. A curious soldier asked. So what do we do now? There's not enough explosives to carry. The captain seemed to be in no hurry. Let's go back first. Send people back to the base to get more explosives. Let some people take turns watching. Just don't let the people in the shelter get away. We are slowly losing with him. We'll play cat and mouse with him. See how long he can hold it. Inside the Chow shelter. Maybe you're worried about Truong Dok. What's the situation outside now? What was that noise? It sounded like the sky was falling. The young man comforted the girls without worrying. The defense underneath is even stronger. 2 floors up a lot. In a short time, they can't threaten this place. Remember when you used the suction space, the explosive power of TNT, the destructive power from the absorption explosion. It can also be used for other things. Now they're also reorganizing. Can't be subjectively ignored, she told the 4 girls. I guess this time they only had some explosives to carry. The attacks on us are about to stop. And if I hit the next wave, I already have a solution. My face is quite confident. In your heart, it seems like there's a way to deal with the Taesun Kia. Next time you come, I'm not going to deal with it that simply. Suddenly there was a message from the old man. The sound on your side just now. It scares the hell out of me. That explosion. I even suspect the mansion has collapsed. Did the soldiers come back? At least I saw people leaving the village to go west. Listening to Spring Lightning said Truong. Looks like they're back for more dynamite. I thought. Truong immediately texted Cho. What are the others doing? From Spring Lightning quickly replied. What else to do about rest? They seem to be staying for a long time. I just came back to eat right away. Truongi told me to detect Spring Lightning from Trauma RA is not safe. You remember. You have to watch out for those people at all times. The fat man thanked the old man. If there really was such a day, I will definitely run to you. The young man is now taken care of by 2 girls. Think of the Western Mountains. We can live in peace with the people in the village. From home I don't believe. Moving to town from home, the captain told him 6. Next we'll stay here for a while. Please clear some houses for us. Also remember carefully, you must prepare 65 servings daily. I've heard 65 daily servings of spring flushing. The young man thought, 65 servings. One of them eats 5 portions of you. It's often like this, I can't afford it. It's different from spring. P6 tried to smile. Meet the requirements of the Kia Company captain's name. Of course. The military visit. It's the honor of our village. I just don't know when. We can deal with the Kia killer. How the company captain responded coldly. How long it takes is a secret. Don't ask too many questions if you have nothing. You can go about your business as usual and meet our requirements only. We're not helping you get your revenge. Mr. Six scratched his head and nodded. You're right. We have much to ask for your help. After the company captain left, Six immediately asked the Spring to drag him quickly to build an ice tent. These houses are used to welcome guests. You have to do it. From the Spring thunder in their eyes, no matter how strong your power is, he's just a dumb fool. Move the scene to the next day. The captain crossed his arms with a confident expression. Order the nest to explode with a lot of dynamite. TNT has been added to. Pay attention to the timing of the throw. We're going to blow up that turtle shell this time. A soldier obeyed the order. I told him and another guy, throwing a large mass of dynamite with his power. About Zhang Yi's shelter. It's about 500 barrels of TNT. Exactly as predicted by Zhang Yi. I just saw Kia's explosives being thrown. The man told himself he couldn't wait any longer. Right after that, Zhang Yi used his space ability, smoke the explosives inside. To expand the thought. Radical countermeasures. We have to destroy their lives. Then Zhang Yi started to release the explosive. Back to where the Taesun army stood. I saw the explosive coming back from above. The surprised captain shouted out that there was an ambush and ran. The whole army fled and died. Then lie down on your stomach. In hopes of not getting hurt. When the Big Bang happened. Explosive blocks after being thrown back when by Zhang. When it hit the ground, it exploded a second later, rumbling the explosion of the earthquake, destroying everything on a large scale. A giant super flaming mushroom burst into flames, all in a sea of fire. Taesun's rescuers could not escape. I can only wait to be burned by the fire. They screamed in pain. Not just a moment later. They're all sucked up by the heat of the Kia fire. Zhang Yi stands from a distance to observe. I am quite pleased with the results ahead, muttering against the chin. Hot weapons are really formidable. I use it better than them. Captain Name and 2 other mutants in the Tae-sun army was quickly hiding behind a large iceberg. Right after the explosion, Captain's Name is spicy cursing muttered damn. After the explosion was over, he carefully stood up. Observe the situation of your teammates. But the situation in front of him hurt. I wonder if it's possible. All the Kia soldiers are dead. No more a name. The captain's name is still incomprehensible. Why the SAO bombs are falling back on us. But it's pushed back in the middle of the air. He was angry as if he had fallen, then banged his hands in the snow screaming. The captain gritted his teeth and then muttered. He's releasing some of the explosive power on the middle stitch. It changes the trajectory of the explosive. Angry hands in the snow. There's a bullet. Sniper flying through. Fortunately for the captain, he just lowered his head. Be lucky to escape death. The captain thought of the shot. A few more bullets flew by. The plague is very far away. The shot is somewhat inaccurate, but young people also have to feel. I am not ashamed to be their leader. He's a very good guy. Bullets through people like that. And he didn't panic. The captain came back and warned him to be careful. Now one has pierced the apple next to it. Because he is a psychic, he escaped death. He took the bullet out and got angry. It hurts, bitch. Remote viewing through the viewfinder. Kia was pierced through an apple without dying. The translation immediately realized. So RA is a mutant fighter? The defense is terrible. Continue to shoot. Then they ran somewhere and lost track. And then there were bullets fired by snipers. Shoot towards the epidemic. Then the fluid opens up into space and it's sucked in. Truongi muttered there was a sniper ha. Immediately expand the space warehouse. Release the bullets that were sucked in earlier. Taste the bullets. You shoot back. Very quickly, 2 snipers were shot in the head. Red translation splashed. At this time, young people check out your shelter. The walls of the shelter damaged 0.028%. Suddenly, young man jerking when someone approaches your shelter. Since when did he get there? The captain's name uses the hurry power. Up and try to punch the wall. But not Cinnamon. He gritted his teeth and gritted his teeth. Sooner or later, I'll break your turtle's shell. Tighten your cosmetic teeth. This kid is a real pervert out there. Super high-speed movement also possesses monstrous power. The usual sniper method. I couldn't hit this guy at all. But as long as we don't leave. He also broke hands with me. Move the scene to the village elder from home. He saw the army coming back and asked. Captain, you've won the war. Can you kill the criminal? One of them is right. I just heard a loud explosion. They must have destroyed his house. It must have exploded out of the dust. No tiger is the captain's mausoleum. It's really bad. An angry man yelled, shut up. Then the captain said to the old man, we were hungry and brought more food. Must be more than normal. We fought hard today. You have to cook better. Remember, yes. The villagers saw the soldiers. We're talking about 7 failures, right? So many people. I can't even deal with a translation. Oh, I can't say it first. Zhang Yi is a cruel and evil ghost head. Wicked tricks. The captain of the villagers seems too disrespectful. Let me teach you a lesson. The captain's name replied, no need to keep them. We can still provide food. Additional workers for us. Want to deal with them. We have to wait for Zhang to finish. Let's say the base also needs more labor. Until then, make them work for the organization. Let's just say they're lucky. If it's before Kia according to my temperament, I killed those guys. Back to Zhang Yi's hideout. Chao may see Truongi back, then anxiously run to. Are you injured, Zhang? The young man calmly replied, you're not okay. But they do. While the young man is taking off his shirt, the vial has prepared food and drinks to bring. While eating, Zhang Yi asked 6 possibilities. The wall outside the shelter was attacked. Now the outer coating partially peels off. Is there a way to fix 06? This kind of solid metal composition, you know, but needs some special materials. 6 probably more. Even if it solves the material problem. You also need to go out. Repairing the outside wall. Now the situation is like this. You can't find the material either. Can you fix the wall? The young man took a sip of beer and said, as long as you say you can fix it. We're not in a hurry. Yang Bile sighed to tell the AI how long they would hit. Young people advocate giving beer cans to Yang Mi. Be prepared to fight for a long time. Truong Yip gave beer to Yang Mi. Chao Kai children spoke up. I want a drink too. 6 of course also said Truong Yi I also want. And then all 5 of us, 5 cans together, 2 or 3. I was eating when the phone rang. I picked up the phone and was a bit surprised. Why is she again? He handed the phone to Truong. There is a message. Please read her message, please. I'm a good teacher. Now my students and I need your help. Maybe let me talk to you. Can you recuperate? Read the translated message and think. Maybe she came here too. He then turned to the Holy Spirit and 6 verses. Kids, you can tell me, can we talk about this poor guy? After hearing about the salary, I asked her what that was. So you can try it. If I use your phone to talk to her. There's a risk she plowed the virus to disrupt the shelter's network? Duong Han folded his hands confidently. Don't worry. The security of your phone is no different. Where's the control room computer system? That's good. I use your phone to talk to her. Zhang Yi started texting her salary. I'm Zhang Yi you want to find. I have something to discuss. I hope I can cooperate with you. My students are now in the Taesun base, in danger of life. I'd like your help. Ask me to help you. At Taesun base that lack of food and clothing Sao. Celestial Bar Academy it's students. Not the elite. You should know in the current situation, there was nothing left of his former identity and status. I really want to work with you. Now I'm here with the attackers. I thought you might need my help. In exchange, you helped me and my students escape. How do you feel? Truongyi thought silently. Taesun base is not a big bunker shelter Sao. Why would anyone in there be in danger? But I see your salary is pretty good now. It's a strong mutant. You can't protect a bunch of students. Thought then Truong translated further. I know absolutely nothing about the Taesun base. You want my help. At least tell me what's going on inside. Yes, I can tell you. You risked your life, I believe you are a good man. After talking on the phone, to your salary. The movement began to ponder against the chin. So that's clear. The missing students were arrested, doing experiments on humans. It's funny. The probability of mutants is so low. Maybe some people will come back. Even if they don't waste. Corpses processed into high-quality protein. After listening to it, Chow said a chilling sentence. This Taesun base is hell on earth. They're treating people in Life Zone 4. That is, if Zone 4 is dead. Who works for them? The outside population is small, but only relative to before the end of the world. With the current population, even if only 5% of the population survives, the density is still huge. There are thousands of people injured alone, right? If I guess not wrong, most of them will be taken away. By the way, artificially modify the boat, give them suddenly the experience. A sad face. I thought the Taesun base would be better off. Think about the situation now. I'd rather stay at the academy. The nurse continued to ask her salary. You know perfectly well. Guard of the Taesun base. Not just a few people can. I'm not going to rush in to save the students. If you told me to come to the rescue, you'd overestimate me. I can only protect myself. Her salary continues to convince the translation school. They were able to withstand the attack of the Taesun base. Prove you have solid strength. If I can prove enough worth, can you change your mind? If under these conditions it is still possible to negotiate, I'll contact you later. In my mind, a thought arose. I turned to ask Hun. I used to say, can install malware into the network of Taesun base. They can infiltrate their entire network. Not a moment later. At the dinner table, Yang Mi asked the young man to translate. He wanted to use her salary to attack the Taesun base. The young man replied coldly. You can't be passively beaten forever. We have to find a way to counterattack. Transfer scene to town from family name. Captain of Taesun. Speak loudly to the people in town. Everybody knows. We're here to help people. On the other side of the river there is a devil named. The plague killed hundreds of people. Not to mention it all. It is true that he is an evil man. To punish this evil, we need everyone to cooperate now. A quick meeting took place. The captain's name began to preside over this hot meeting. We've made a number of attacks, testing into the shelter, even though 7 is huge, but also basic. I know a little bit about Zhuang's ability. Ballistic weapons such as guns. The missile will be absorbed and reflected back. However, he has a limit on how to attack. They can only use sniper rifles. I can't even walk out of the shelter. So my intention is, some of us use our powers from the dead end of his sniper. We are constantly attacking. The shelter is very large, and not all sides have windows. So there's going to be a lot of dead corners. My plan is that some of us take turns. Use your abilities to attack the shelter as a diversion. Then let the townspeople from RA dig the underground tunnel. Blow it up from below the ground. Listen to this plan and think for a moment. Then the salary comes up. Are you going to send the villagers from their homes to seek death? The captain's name began to explain. They all came out of concern for them. Before that, the plague killed hundreds of their people. Once we leave this land, in the face of the epidemic, they will have no ability to fight back. Sacrificing a part is necessary for the final victory. Your salary is in line with this plan. This is the murder of innocent people. Unless you have a more effective way to break the shelter. If not, just follow orders. A girl next to me. We have no other choice. Expansion of holding supplies could provide for thousands of survivors. It's very important for the Tay-Sun base. It's the end of the world. The number of survivors is a minority compared to sympathizing with others. Protect yourself and those around you. It's more important. For example, your students. When you hear this, you whisper, "Now is not the time to face them." The Kia girl continued. It's just digging little tunnels. I don't have to make beer. If you're really freezing or exhausted, then where do we get to work? You guys arranged it yourselves, but I hope you can take people seriously. Don't let them die of overwork. Don't worry, we have a plan. There are so many people in the whole town from Split CA tunneling and then rotate. Probably not too tired. Let's work with us to dig a tunnel. It's all about getting rid of the evil one. The villagers from the house were caught digging the tunnel. What made us go to work? Why did they come here to eat us? Are drinking at our house. Now they're making us coolies. This is not bullying honest people. The young people in the village were reacting too strongly. The village chief intervened. Our fire giants, don't be hot, don't be hot. This arrangement is also good for us. I will not destroy this evil demon from our tram. We can have peace Sao. A young man spoke up. Mr. Six, but we don't want to do this right now. That's right. The plague hasn't bothered us for a long time. People outside their mouths scold. Life goes on peacefully. Is it necessary to go to war with him again? She walked past a group of people from the village arguing. The aesthetic is certain. Must quickly negotiate with this if not. I don't know how many more people have to die. Inside an empty room. Salary call on the phone. Report on the tunnel plans of the Tay-Sun. Let Truangi know. I know. Thank you for reminding me to pay attention. She was always curious to ask Zhang. So what are you going to do next? The cold-hearted replied. They like to waste energy. Then let them work. I was curious and asked you this question. What house is your home in town? Why did you ask me that? Are you still coming to see me? Who knows? However, if there is a chance, I need you to help me with this too. This has something to do with you and your students. Can you escape or not? After talking on the phone with Zhang Yi, the salary girl continues to dig with the tunnel. Tay-Sun people. Before saving the students, you have to pretend to be stupid, obeying their orders. The psychics and the salary lady rushed in and slashed the wall, but it still doesn't work. Calmly sitting in the room, look at the camera and smile. After a while, I felt thirsty and called for water. Very quickly the bile brought a glass of water. With a soft voice, you don't have to touch the hand. Immediately, young bile poured water for Truong to drink. See this action of two people. They are happy and suddenly blush. Chow is a little unhappy in her heart. Six, of course, scratching the head, said, these mutants are strong. Their attack power, it's gone through a lot of hot weapons, or all mutants are that strong. These people are all geeks. In the spirit of Tay-Sun base, it is not strange to have such power. She raised her hands and hugged her two voices with satisfaction. So you see, the outside world is too dangerous. There are such perverted mutants. Remember not to go out later. Being in the house full of warm rice is not very great Sao. I was worried to ask Zhang Yi even though we already knew their battle plans. But we can't go out. How do we know how far they've dug? Please explain. I want to explain so that Chow can be clear. Sound waves travel in solids faster. In the air. They're digging up from the ground. The vibration is felt more clearly. I just need a device to pick you up. Can analyze their construction distances. It's just a little trick on the computer. Young Honey continued. So we don't have to do anything now, do we? The only task is to wait. That's right, there's basically nothing to do. Because of everything they do, it's just a waste of time. In vain the fall. Relying on the shoulder of Cho Kai Ni continued. And watch them waste their time. How the same life. After a while digging the captain's name, let's take a break tonight. The darkness is not clear. They are not afraid of abnormal detection. Because of heavy work in severe weather, a patient from the family who had an acute heart attack can no longer be saved. Someone else saw the scene. This can't stand. The captain threw the shovel and shouted. It's inhumane for you to do that. It's like taking us out as buffalo horses. He doesn't care if he doesn't do it anymore. This year's captain's name, the gun in his hand, orders cannot be violated. Everything we do, it's to avenge you. He kept pointing his gun at Kia. It's gone to this country now. Who dares to give up as digging 5? She's looking for an empty place. Call to report the situation of the Taesun. For Truong translation, at the current speed, they still need almost half a month. Can dig to the designated location, but until then, at least a few hundred people in the village will die. Speaking of which, she impatiently asked, "You're not going to act yet. Be careful. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to deal with." He's lying on the sofa right now. Of course I had my own plan. Don't worry about that. In recent days, I found the attackers in the shelter less and less. There's only your apes, the others. Where are you going? They don't have another mission. It's not. Most of them are still waiting for orders to take action in their hometown. Still have to maintain order to keep the villagers from rebelling. Yeah, I get it. They seem to be thinking now, I can only wait to die in the shelter, looking forward to spending the labor of the townspeople to dig the tunnel according to the plan. The movement of thought. It's time to give them a little shock. A few days later, the young man prepared his clothes. The cat is ready to go out. Just came out in a secret way, muttered the fluid, marveling at the design of the shelter. The escape route is hidden behind the Van Trung mansion. This far away, it's disguised as a gravestone like this. Think about it carefully. Immediately promote the snowmobile driving movement. It's time to strike back. Young people go to town from home. The guard saw the sign on Zhang's shirt. The aesthetic. The sign is that the frontline team has returned early. The guard hurriedly raised his hand to the captain. The guard couldn't even speak a second language. I just saw a sword swinging. Red translation splashed. He quickly fell down, so the guard was sent by Zhang to sell salt. The young man poked another sword through the apple. This is the 24th name. Like that, all the guards around the town from home, they're all dead. Suddenly there was a dog barking. The soldiers alerted each other. Something happened. Go out and have a look. Some names. I've got the dogs out to see the situation. Then, the dogs were sucked into the space warehouse by Zhang Yi. Then the young man jumped up and slashed. The soldiers died on the spot. I heard the dogs bark and the guns go off. It's far away now. The captain seemed to sense something. What is it? The people in the village also realized that there was gunfire in the village. Maybe that AI lit the fireworks. It's impossible. Now the situation is like this. Who's so free to set off firecrackers? The captain's name shouted loudly. Go back and see what happened. At the same time, Zhang Yi is driving a snowmobile. Take the name out of the spring. The old man on the way earlier traces. The snowmobile is too clear. Don't be afraid that the exit will be discovered. Young man. The police just recovered the snowmobile. Just calmly replied. Just the enemy. Not a complete idiot. They will definitely find it. Then Truong Yi even gave a wily smile. I hope to win soon. I've never fought a battle without preparing in advance. Don't worry.